Why Not? A queer podcast.
Thank you to our sponsor, Pineapple Healthcare, an award-winning primary care clinic right here in Orlando.
Pineapple Healthcare offers mental health counseling, HIV, STI testing and treatment, and specializes in care for the LGBTQ plus community.
Open Monday through Saturday. Call today at 407-553-6336 and schedule your appointment.
Pineapple Healthcare. Better together.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rick Todd.
And I'm Jeremy Williams, and you're listening to Wine?
Why Not? A queer podcast.
Episode 139?
Yeah, I know.
I'm sure?
I don't have the sheet in front of me. I didn't know either. I was like, am I supposed to be saying this?
Yeah. I mean, I still don't even know what happened last week, if you ended up doing it with someone else or if we skipped last week, but I was a little under the weather I sounded like RFK Jr. So I messaged you.
Which almost made me demand that we do it.
Because I feel like I messaged you sometime like in the late morning, early afternoon. Because I was like, I think I'll drink some coffee. I'll see, because I mean, even if I'm feeling a little cruddy, I mean, I'm just walking from the couch to my desk. So I could still do it. But I sounded so raspy and gross. And I was like, there's no way I could do this for 2 hours. So I messaged you and then I went back to bed. And then I never... I've been out of work too long. I did no follow-up, and I have no idea if there was an episode last week or not.
I mean, I know you didn't do any follow-up because I messaged you like twice, and I said on Sunday, let me know how you feel.
I did see that. In my defense, I have told you and everyone else in the world, I am no longer on Facebook. I mean, there's a profile there, but I am never on Facebook. So I actually didn't see that until yesterday, I think is the first time in like 2 weeks that I logged onto Facebook. And I saw I had messages from you. And I was like, oh. And I was going to reply back and I was like, yeah, those days don't work for me. But I was like,
just out of curiosity,
knows.
Did you feel better by Monday?
No? Yeah. I was feeling better by Monday. I probably could have done it.
Nah, it's fine. I mean, I was going to take the stuff with me, and then I was like, you know what? I already have to take my baseball stuff, softball stuff. I'm like, screw it. Take a week off.
Yeah.
So now imagine how funny and excited we are to be here and how great it's going to be.
Look at it like this. We took a week off, so all the previous episodes, that's season 1. This is our season 2 premiere. We're back from our vacation.
That's exactly how that works. Are we sounding okay if we do? You can hear us well because everything's. I'm looking at our little lines here for our microphones, and usually we get up into like the yellows and the reds, and we're just straight up green.
Yeah.
So I just hope. So I turned mine up a little bit. If you're in your car listening to this, and I suddenly got louder, my apologies.
Yeah, you did just get louder for me.
Okay.
My little thing stays in the yellow.
Oh really? Oh, okay,
yeah.
Cool. Well then we're good. We're golden.
Yeah, it does. Oh, that went red.
All right. Well, here we are after our tiny little hiatus.
Yeah.
And we're at 139. So
139.
Listen, this is short-lived. We're not going to do this much longer. So let's just spit out some quick 139 facts.
So I got a couple for you real quick. There is a 2013 horror film called Camp 139 that is written and directed by Matt and Ben. Not that Matt and Ben. Matt Adams and Ben James.
What Matt and Ben would it have been?
Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
Oh, okay.
Only Matt and Ben until this morning when I found out there's another one.
I was thinking if it was Ben and Jerry, I might know what they do. But,
no, not even they are making anything together anymore.
No.
Yeah. So, but the movie Camp 139 is a drug-fueled camp trip through, oh, Jesus Christ. That's what happens when you take a week off. A drug-fueled camping trip goes to hell when a killing machine stalks 4 teams through the wilderness and lures them to an abandoned army hospital. For those who think that sounds intriguing, like myself, I added it to my watch list. It is available to stream on Tubi. And Tubi does that thing if you watch, like you pull up a movie and you save it in your favorites so you're going to want to watch it. It gives you recommendations of other things you might like. And Tubi says if you like Camp 139, you may also like Halloween Night, Wicked Lake, and Don't Fuck in the Woods, parts 1 and 2. I don't think it's porn because it's on Tubi.
Yeah, if it
but
was
I'm not
porn,
sure yet.
If it was porn, it would be called "Fuck in the Woods."
That's true.
Don't fuck in the woods. That's
Don't
anti-porn.
fuck. That's anti-porn. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Florida porn.
Can I just say, I don't watch porn because I'm a good Christian boy. But if I did, it would be really nice to have Pornhub back. Because New York does not have the restrictions on Pornhub that Florida does. So Florida got rid. You can't watch Pornhub in Florida.
Well, you
Very
can.
sad.
You just have to put in like your driver's license number or something.
Yeah,
can't
you have to
anonymously
identify
do it.
yourself.
Yeah.
I could hypothetically watch all the porn anonymously that I want here on Pornhub, and it would be fantastic.
Does Pornhub have a paid account aspect to it?
I don't know. That's an excellent question for somebody who would
are
pay
you
for
pretending that you don't go to Pornhub, or are you?
All right.
Are you admitting you don't pay for it?
I don't pay for Pornhub, but I watch it free all the time. I'm watching it free right now.
Please don't go CNN on me. Your camera is on. Remember that.
The other one that I thought interesting. This actually has a LGBTQ tie to it that made me laugh. The Batman issue number 139 came out in April 1961. It was the first issue that ever had a Batgirl in it, but it's not the traditional Barbara Gordon Batgirl that most people know. It was a Batgirl named Betty Kane, who is the niece to Kathy Kane, who is Batwoman. Batwoman and Batgirl were introduced as romantic interests for Batman and Robin because too many people were assuming that Batman and Robin were in a homosexual relationship. So they introduced Batwoman and Batgirl
Robin
to say,
wishes they were.
They aren't gays. They got girlfriends. And they only pop up every couple episodes. So good on you, Batman and Robin. You got yourself some dames back in the 60s.
The things Caitlin is forced to whisper into my ear.
Ooh, what did she whisper?
Said Pornhub does have paid memberships. Thank you, Caitlin.
Sweet.
$15 is the lowest. Is that the lowest?
That's about what I had to pay for Apple Plus this week to watch what we're going to talk about later.
Did you really?
They upped the price. It's $12.99 now. It used to be like $6.99.
But it's good though because you can watch other things on it. I mean, Apple TV's got good shows.
Whatever I'm going to watch has to be done in the next 7 days because I'm canceling it before that free trial is up.
You're not saving on all that Disney Plus money you're saving? So you can't just transfer that over?
Let's not pretend I canceled Disney Plus and Hulu. There's currently shows on there I needed to watch.
Oh, right away. Here's what I said. I said to Jen, I was like, just cancel it. Like, to make the statement, cancel it. They'll correct it and then buy the bundle. Because did you know the bundle is cheaper?
I have the bundle. I have HBO Max, Hulu, and Disney Plus for $15 a month.
Yeah, we're paying individually for all of that. I was like, cancel it all, pretend it's a big statement, and then get the bundle with it.
Nice. If it helps, I found out last week that I had a second Hulu account, apparently that I never closed or canceled. So I did cancel that one. Take that, Disney. But I do have the other one.
Give me my Jimmy Kimmel, who I have been calling Jimmy Kimball for years.
What a Trumpian sounding move.
Travesty of injustice did I learn his real name.
Did you watch? Did you?
No, I didn't watch. You know why? Because I was in fucking Houston. And it's a Sinclair station.
I watch, but my cable through Spectrum does not offer local channels. So much like I did with Apple Plus or Apple TV, I signed up for a free subscription or trial for Fubo, and then I watched it and then canceled Fubo. I have 30 email accounts between Google and Yahoo. And I just keep creating accounts to get free trials to things I want to see.
Isn't that what a Yahoo email address is for?
Exactly.
It's for signing up for things and canceling them. Yeah,
absolutely. The last 139 I have is for Caitlin. It's all for Caitlin. Pokemon 139.
Finish on Caitlin.
Is Omaster Omastar, something like that. It is the evolved version of the last one we
Omastar.
talked about. And it is a water rock type Pokemon that looks like a snail with large spikes on its shell, and an octopus with like waving tentacles and a beak mouth. Real weird looking. But it is an evolved Pokemon, so it's got one step above a lot of the voters in America. Heyo!
Wow. Speaking
We're
of votes
going
in
political.
America, don't you have your mayoral votes coming up soon, right?
Yes.
I heard
Eric
on the radio.
Adams dropped out.
Yeah, I heard that he dropped out today. I heard that.
Yep.
And then somebody just went off about your guy, saying that it's just bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's a bad move. Your guy. Said that-
Mandani?
Yeah, that he's just will be
Mamdani?
bad for New York City. He said real estate's going to skyrocket. Things are going to get bad. And it was like a super liberal dude. He just said this idea, this guy, not right.
Yeah.
I was like, who knows? I guess it's just because of experience. I mean, maybe saying like the guy's not held in office before, right?
He's like not a mayoral office. He was in the New York legislature.
Well, then he knows how it works.
Yeah, he's basically doing what Anna's doing. He's our Anna.
Well, I don't know what this
Aska-me.
Yahoo was talking about then.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
I am Aska-me-ing it.
It looks like it's. I don't know. Is this terrible? Am I even allowed to say this? Because I was going to make an Italian joke. It looks like you're saying like that you work at a place and you're like because the microphone, it just looks like it's Aska-me.
Aska-me. I am Italian and I'll allow it.
It's a Mario.
It's, you know what? I am Italian and I'll allow it. That's a good
all right.
joke.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Speaking of like that, being 1/16, whatever, like the percentages. I saw The Modern Family this last week.
I just want to. I'm 50% Italian.
Oh,
yeah. I'm not like
1/64th
and claiming it to get a pizza or something.
But usually, when you're talking about this, you're like, I'm 1/32 Jewish, and then we're all like,
apparently
look,
not anymore. Apparently not anymore. The Ancestry.com, because they keep refining the search. No Jews to be found.
Oh no!
Yeah. Apparently, it was
no more
French
Seder
and German
for you.
hiding. Yeah. Sorry, no more
dreidel.
bagels.
Burn your dreidel. Anyway, I was watching The Modern Family where Mitch and Cam were trying to get Lily into a school, and they were interviewing, and then these lesbians, they were like, "We'll play the gay card, we'll get in," and then the lesbians in the wheelchair came in. So he's like, I 1/16. Like they bless me with child with skin of maize, and like it's like, and Mitchell's just like, please stop talking, please stop.
Good show.
Anyway.
Good show.
So here's what I got. Did you know that there are 139 articles of the Russian Constitution? Exactly. Nope. 139. They all say whatever Putin wants. All 139.
I will say, Ancestry.com told me no Russian whatsoever. I didn't learn nothing about them.
What's the 139th episode of Friends?
It is the one with the duck and the chick.
No, it is not. I'll give you a hint. Phoebe is not playing music in this one.
She's not playing music.
She doesn't play music in this one.
Is this the flashback? Like the what if episode?
The one that could have been.
Oh, where she works on Wall Street.
Yeah, the one that could have been part 1. So next week's is part 2, and we're not even going to talk about it. Aired February 17th, the year 2000. Our Lord.
In the year 2000. You remember that on Conan?
No.
I
never watched him.
In the 90s, they did a bit where one of their little singers in their band would say, in the year 2000, and then Andy and Conan would say some weird shit like Donald Trump will be president, and everybody would laugh because it's like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. That's not so funny now, is it, people?
Nothing is.
139th greatest director of all time. I don't know if you're going to get this, so I'm going to give you the hint right off bat.
Sure.
Probably the most popular movie this person made, 1931, Dracula.
Oh, shit. Who directed Dracula?
Followed it up with Freaks in 1932.
I can tell you who directed Frankenstein and The Bride of Frankenstein.
Because we watched that movie.
But I cannot tell you for the life of me who directed Dracula.
Todd Browning.
Todd, you did not stick in my mind as much as Whale did.
139th greatest movie ever made. Here's
Dracula?
your hint. It's a silent one. Wouldn't that be
City
funny
Lights.
if it was the same movie? If it was the same.
Would be. It would make my life easier.
1922, silent German expressionist
Nosferatu?
vampire. Yes.
All right. All you had to do is say silent and German vampire.
You won't be watching that at the Ren this week.
Did you see the Nosferatu from that came out last year? The Robert Eggers one?
No.
Oh, it was pretty good. It's on I don't know.
I don't want to sound like a wimp or anything. It just looks a little scary.
Oh no, it's romantic.
Did you hear about
all Dracula movies are romantic?
Do you follow the Watermark Out news? Did you hear what happened?
I
The
did.
Ren?
It got condemned.
Nah, I mean it was just basically it's
Locked
a
up?
yearly inspection. They just happened to come in like when they have all the sets built for all this stuff, and they were like, "Yeah, no, you need to change some things." So they just shut it down while they tell them to change some things. They built all those different levels and all those different rooms.
Because I saw it.
It's not a big deal.
I read the story, and it sounded the shows because there's some issues with the building, and then I got an email from Donald Roop. Apparently, I'm still on the mailing list for the Ren, and I read in his email, he's like, we walked to the doors and they had signs saying our building was condemned. And I was like, what the hell happened? And then when I read the story, it sounded like, oh, okay, there's just issues with the building.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if it was.
It's, how they build, they change
repairable.
things all the time, and they do things,
Yeah.
and they just got inspected, and and they said, hey, these things don't. But they're gonna get it fixed, and it's gonna be fine, and it's great. I think that they're
Nice.
doing shows at the Plaza Live in the meantime.
I did see that email also from Donald Rupe that they are moving to the Plaza Live.
Well, you don't need me. You got Donald.
He
Rupe.
emails me all
I'll
the
call
time.
him and I'm gonna call him and see if he wants to host with you from now on.
He sent me an email the other day and he goes, "Hey, my building's condemned. Can I come stay with you?" And I said, "Come on, Don." No, I'm just kidding.
Why go from one condemned building to another?
Hey, you be nice to my building.
No, you're like, mine's
you're
not
right.
condemned. We got an extra wall built.
You're absolutely right. It's become a weekly, like I do a weekly search through the apartment to look for extra new cracks in the wall because I'm paranoid that this building's going to topple over.
It'll be fine. It'll be at
I'm
least
sure
10, 15 years before that happens.
I figured I'd start getting some leaks with the pipes and stuff if the building was shifting, if it got that bad, and get me time to get out. But it's fine. It's a beautiful building. It's pre-war, which is full of history. Can you imagine all the people who have died right where I'm sitting?
I can see 3 of them.
No, God.
Here's a clue. If you can't open or shut your windows, something's up. Can you open and shut your windows?
With a little force, sure.
No, there you go. When you can no longer do that, that's when you might start counting cracks.
Sweet. A couple of weeks ago, Chris was in his room, and just out of the blue, because the window's open from the top and the bottom, just out of the blue, one of the windows just fell open. We called them up, and they were like, yeah, put a work order in. We'll come in and fix it. Nobody came. Nobody. I hope somebody from the building watches or listens to this podcast because you all are awful. I'm about 2 seconds away from calling 311 because I'm told that's what I have to do. But they don't come to fix shit here, so I had to
rig the slumlord line.
In the city, it's like, does your apartment suck? Call us. But I had to get up there and kind of rig it so that it would stay up because nobody would come fix the damn thing.
Tell me what a lie this is. Okay, so I've I opened TikTok and I watched a video about an apartment in New York. And so now I get just all these videos of this dude walking through apartments in New York, and he's like, "Look at this one bedroom in Brooklyn for
Nope.
$850," and it's like this beautiful apartment.
Yeah, it's a lie. There's and I think we talked about this when I first moved to New York on one of the the episodes, where there's a text line where like you can sign up and then the city sends you text about like, if there's a missing person or an area of town you want to avoid because they're having protests or parades or whatever. And they sent one out about these scammers on TikTok and Instagram posting up those things, trying to con people out of money. So basically you see a TikTok on there of like a really good deal.
And they're like,
And
"Give
they were
me
like,
3 months rent."
not even that. It's, hey, send me the security deposit, which is $1,000, $1,500 to hold the apartment. And then we can start working on the lease. You send them the money, you never hear from them again.
Well, that seems dangerous because it's like a face of an actual person who's walking through the apartment. Like that is an arrestable person.
Well, they're not smart people.
They're
They're just money hungry.
smart
Yeah, a
people
lot of
anywhere.
the ones that I see, it's just people walking through the apartment without. But yeah, some of them they do show their faces. But they're scams. Don't reach out.
You know what? People who scam people, you just suck.
Yeah.
You're a terrible person.
Yeah.
Like, why are you gonna cheat people to get yours? Do something good with your life. Use your powers for good, loser. I'm not talking to any particular.
My new apartment is calling me. Nope, that's not them.
Your new apartment?
Yeah, I'm trying to get a new apartment. I signed up for the lottery.
Oh, did
Yeah,
you?
you know about the New York lottery? Not the New York,
but why
like
would you? How do you do that if like if you're in because you're gonna have to pay this and then pay your other rent too.
I don't know how because they make you go on the lottery and then like you go through all these steps and it takes years for some people. I don't know the specifics once you get the apartment, how the city handles that. But in our case, Chris wants to stay in this apartment and I'm trying to get my own apartment. So I signed up. I'm not really going to get notified now because I just signed up, but it'll be probably
Doesn't make any sense. This makes no sense to me. Okay, so listen. Here's how the lottery system works, right? Is that they build these luxury high rises that have all these great amenities. And in order to get the contract or get the city approval to build this, they've got to use X amount of the units to go to rent stabilized, affordable housing, right? So like in other cities, they have these affordable housing things, which really aren't affordable. But this is, because I've looked at it. And so you can get a 2-bedroom, 2-bath for like $2,500 and get all the amenities. Why would Chris want to stay there if he could be in a house with a doorman?
The program that I'm going through is specifically a veterans program.
Oh, okay.
So that's specifically for us. For him, for the issues I have for this apartment, they are not issues for him. Like I said, when I first moved in here, the issues I had with the apartment are because I was ignorant to how buildings are in New York City, particularly pre-war buildings. And things like the lopsided floors or the no air conditioning, that kind of shit. That's like common knowledge for people in New York. I expected normal buildings. I don't know why my entire screen just turned
Chris
red.
could be in a he could have a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment for $1,500 less than he's paying for that space right there. So I don't know
in another neighborhood. His big thing is he wants to be in this neighborhood.
I get it.
This neighborhood specifically, this is the cheapest apartment, even because this is a rent stabilized apartment. And this is the cheapest one that we were able to find. But specifically, he likes this neighborhood.
Yeah. Wow. Look, for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath at $2,500 a month rent stabilized, you better know. You can bet I know all about all of this lottery system and that I don't mind a long commute, whether it's driving from St. Pete to Orlando or flying from New York to Orlando. So I know all about those. Anyway, how was your week? Yeah. Let's, little gist of it.
It was, it started off rough. I got sick.
Been a couple of weeks.
We talked about, been 2 weeks. So, I got doped up on a lot of NyQuil and slept for most of the first week. So, not a whole lot happened there. But then when I started feeling better, I woke up. It was weird because I woke up like at 4:00 in the morning, and Chris was up because he's used to being up at that hour. And we both just had like this burst of energy. So we decided to go walking around the city at 4 a.m, which is the first time I've been out at that hour. And just watching the city come alive, because there was like very few people on the streets. And then just as the sun comes up, and I took him over to Apollo Bagels, and we got a bagel over there, and it was delicious. This time they were a little too toasted, but still delicious. And then we went and walked on the High Line as the sun came up. It was fantastic, magical. It was a magical city experience. So that was a lot of fun.
The bars are open until 4:00 in the morning. So I'm surprised you didn't see a bunch of stumbling drunks.
We saw a couple, but yeah, for the most part, it was pretty dead until about 5:30, 6:00, and then the city started to come a buzzing with people, I guess, going to work and stuff, because it was a Thursday, Friday. I don't remember. No, it would have been a Monday. Was it last Monday? I don't remember. It was all the days blend together. But it was a weekday, so it was like everybody was going to work and everything, so it was kind of fun. And then we talked about this last time. They had the Broadway flea market.
I saw that ended, and I got sad because I didn't go on and try to win anything. I forgot all about it.
Yeah, so it was very interesting because right where all the theaters are, that little place where we took photos.
Yeah. Schubert Alley.
Schubert Alley, thank you. They had a bunch of things, like the stage set up there, and they were doing live auctions, and then all the different shows and Broadway organizations had tables set up, and for the most part, they were selling like stuff from the shows. So like you could buy a cup that was sitting on the table in Hadestown, and it was like $200 or some shit like that. And then they had posters signed by the cast and everything. But then it was also mixed in with, like, I feel they asked the cast and crew, hey, do you have shit at home you want to get rid of? We're having a yard sale. Because there was like coffee mugs and records and like just old clothes and just like all mixed in with like Broadway stuff. So I went through, I don't know if you can see behind me. Everybody was selling records for like $1 each. So I bought a shit ton of records, but I didn't have anything to carry them in. So I paid $5 for this Rolling Thunder bag, which apparently was an off-Broadway show about Vietnam. That was...
I would have guessed Australian strippers.
That's at first what I thought it was. And the people at the table described the show to me. But it was like a jukebox musical with anti-war anthems from the 60s and 70s talking about the Vietnam War. But it was the only table selling bags. So I got this bag, and then I went table to table, and about halfway through, this older gentleman was walking through, and he was kind of following the path I was following. And he noticed I was going through all the records, and he would point a few out, and he was like, do you know this show? Because there was obviously a lot of show records and some like movie soundtracks and stuff like that. So he would go through and tell me like stories of that. He was like this old guy, like in his 80s, who apparently has lived in New York his whole life and loves Broadway, and would tell me the story of every Broadway record I pulled out. So I bought a couple that I know nothing about, but he said that they were pretty good shows. So I got the original Broadway recording of Jamaica with Lena Horne and Ricardo Montalban, which he said was great. Milk and Honey, which is a show about Jewish people. So he said that was great.
Is that were you making a joke, or is it really?
No, it's really about Jewish people.
I was like trying to figure out how Milk and Honey fit into a joke.
It is about an American visiting Israel, and he meets a Jewish woman, and then they spend a few days together in Israel.
He drinks of her milk, and she drinks of his honey.
Oh.
Everything's poor in this episode.
Got Forbidden Broadway, which he said was
that's a good one. Have you ever heard anything from Forbidden Broadway?
No.
It's kind of fun. I did see it's the kind of thing like this, but they used to do this at Rose's Turn, which was a piano bar in the Village, and someone would sing, instead of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, they would sing somewhat overindulgent, and they would sing it like Mandy Patinkin, and it was to the tune of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and it's very funny. So Forbidden Broadway is like that.
Oh, very nice. I was just
All I know
scanning
is
over.
Somewhere Overindulgent.
I don't know any of these people. Is there a Broadway star called Company? Because there's a lot. Company sang a lot of these songs.
Yeah, I think that's just Patti LuPone's pen name when she doesn't want to be on the record.
This one, the guy would not stop talking about. It is Harry Seacombe in Pickwick, which he said is an amazing album. I have not listened to it yet, but that's the
How
London
much did you pay
recording.
for that amazing album?
A whole $1. Every one of these records were $1.
He's lying to you. All of that shit's made up.
And then Dr. Zhivago, the soundtrack, because was my grandmother's favorite movie. And then since we just lost Robert Redford, I got the Sting soundtrack, which all of the names on there, Scott Joplin, Marvin Hamlish, Robert Redford, and Paul Newman, all dead. Everybody involved in that record, dead now.
Even Company?
Even Company, as I understand it. And I only know that
Rest your soul, Patti LuPone.
I keep putting messages out asking for Company to come over, and nobody shows up.
Aww.
Is
that really why you're moving?
Cool. Yeah. So it's really cool how they had it set up. And I mean, I know like big name people on Broadway, but like some of the little people were out there manning the tables, and they're like, yeah, I'm in the show. And I was like, oh, I don't know who you are. But they were out there shilling some stuff, and it was all to raise money for Broadway Fight
Broadway
AIDS
Cares, Equity
Broadway
Fights
Cares AIDS Fight No More, something like that.
That is exactly what it's called. Did you write that down? That's the name of this episode. And then especially ending it with, and something like that. That's exactly what it's called. That sounds like fun. I wish I could have been there. I'm going to make it a goal of mine. I'm going next year.
They do it every year. You should definitely go next year.
Yeah.
And then the same day. So the reason I needed the bag was to put the records in, because I was going right from there to Queens to go to the Museum of Moving Images. It was this past week. It was Jim Henson's, what would have been his 89th birthday. And they have a permanent exhibit at the Museum of Moving Images dedicated to Jim Henson. And every year on his birthday, they have a big event out there. So I took the train out there, and the exhibit has like original Muppets and puppets from like Sesame Street and the Muppet Show and a bunch of the movies. They had the Miss Piggy in the wedding dress from Muppets Take Manhattan.
Proving you my can put Muppets lipstick movie. On a pig.
You sure can. And she looked beautiful. But they had like one of the original Big Bird costumes, Cookie Monster, Elmo. They had stuff from Fraggle Rock, from Labyrinth, from Dark Crystal. It was just a great exhibit.
Oh, Dark Crystal. That's a good one.
Yeah, they had one of the big monster things there.
Yeah, have you ever seen the video where the big monster thing is walking up to like the little, I don't know what they are. They're little rat people.
Yeah.
Like the stars of the show. And like they dub over it, and it was just the, hey man, you got $1? Have you seen this? It's hilarious. I gotta find it for you. Also interesting that you're talking about Jim Henson, because I just watched a video today on like the social grams about the Muppets learning that Jim Henson died. And it was really cool. Like they were reading letters from fans, and they're like, sorry to hear your friend Jim died. And they all looked at each other and like, what? He died? But then they were reading the letters from fans talking about it. It was really cool.
Yeah. It's a great museum. One of the other exhibits they had was it was famous movie makeup and masks and stuff. So like, makeup and stuff like that from movies. And they had the, you know how they take the cast of the person's face to make like masks and stuff? So they had those on display. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you laughing? What's so funny?
Because I think it's weird.
What?
Like, I feel like they did this with David Bowie's face. And like they made a mask of his face, and they had it at some museum, and I was just like, That's just creepy.
It was a little creepy. Now, it's
Yeah.
not like they made it for the museum. It's the cast they did for specific movies. So they have like the cast of Jim Carrey,
Okay.
and then they have From the Mask, the movie he did, not the Cher one, the one he did. And then they had my favorite one. They had Robin Williams with the Mrs. Doubtfire old lady mask, which was really cool.
Who was the girl in Mask in the Cher one? Wasn't that who's the one that I have a problem with from Jurassic Park? Isn't that her?
Oh, Laura Dern. Is Laura Dern?
I think
it might be.
Is it Laura Dern or it's not
Maybe.
Helen Hunt? I think it might be Laura Dern. I'm gonna look that up while you tell us
Look
about the
that
rest
up.
of your week.
They had the original Chewbacca mask, which they didn't have a face cast of, so that probably would have been more to your taste. They also had the full body prop of Reagan from The Exorcist that they used for the levitating and all that stuff. So really cool exhibits. One thing that they did do there that outside of the exhibits, because it was Jim Henson's birthday, is they had a Jim Henson costume contest where you could dress up either as Jim Henson or one of his Muppet creations. And they had both.
How many people dressed up as Jim Henson?
4. There were 4 Jim Hensons there.
Like, why would you go with that? What is that? Like a cardigan and a t-shirt?
Well, it was the beard and then the hair pulled back in the ponytail. I don't know a lot about Jim Henson, but according to the people who dressed up like him, he apparently had a very Bob Ross look to him.
I was going to say,
just without the fro.
Did you dress up? Did you go as Fozzie?
No. I mean, as much as I look like Fozzie, that's what I look like. But there were people
when
there.
We went shopping for Halloween and you put on that. What was it? Was it Chewbacca?
Chewbacca, yeah.
And I thought you could have wore that.
I didn't buy that, and there's a photo of me in the dressing room floating around out there somewhere.
I think
of me in that full body Chewbacca.
I think I took a picture of it. It was if memory serves, it was a little obscene, wasn't it?
It was very tight.
It was really
and
tight.
I believe the photo.
Area.
I believe the photo is of me pulling a front wedgie out, if you will.
A front wedgie, I like it.
Yeah, it was wedged up in there, and I was yanking it out, and you took a photo.
Tampering with that moose knuckle.
Yeah. The worst part is I didn't buy it. I was rolling around inside that thing all tight and sweating, and then I took it off and hung it back up.
Think about that next time you put on that Chewbacca.
Anybody
thing.
in Orlando
Nerds.
who owns a Chewbacca costume, hope you didn't get it at Target. So the contest is going on.
That laughs while you were telling that.
The kids were fine because it was a mixture of kids and adults. So the kids were fine. The kids were being kids. But the adults dressed up as Jim Henson characters were this weird kind of Disney adult mixed with theater kid kind of person. And they would bring them up all on stage and be like, who are you dressed as? And every fucking adult had a bit and a joke. And I was just like, I am nauseated by listening to all of these. Just bring the kids up. Let them have their fun.
Was there a Janice that was like high as shit? That would have been fun. Isn't her
there
name
was
Janice, the long blonde hair band
Oh, there
girl?
was, yes.
Yeah.
And she had her friend with her who was on a chain who was Animal. And she's like, this is my friend Animal. And then the girl would go, roar. And I was like, shut up. It was so obnoxious.
I just picture you. Like, did you dress up as one of the old guys from the balcony and just heckle everybody?
I felt like one. They were all terrible. There was this lady dressed up as Gonzo from the Muppets Christmas Carol. And the guy's like, let me guess, you're Gonzo? And she's like, I'm Charles Dickens. No, you're not. You're a lady in a horrible costume. And then he's like, I bet you know that movie frontwards and backwards. And she says, I know it like the back of my hand. It has hairs and some wrinkles on the knuckles. And I was like, someone pushed her off the stage. It was awful.
She has hairy knuckles?
Everybody had a great time.
That's unfortunate.
And a kid won because they do the costume contest and they have everybody vote. And a little kid dressed up as Jim Henson won. And he had a little Kermit puppet, which is very cute.
That sounds rigged.
I'm very happy he won because all of the adults were annoying. But, and I say this with all the love in my heart, the kid's Kermit impersonation, because they asked him, and you're like, oh, and who's your little friend? Is that Kermit? It was terrible. And that's coming from me, who has terrible impersonations. But they said, they put the microphone up to Kermit, and he goes, I am Kermit the Frog. And I was like, you don't sound anything like him, you dumb kid. It was all terrible.
That kid has no friends and parents who lie to him.
But it was a good time. There was like a couple of hundred people there. It was packed. And all these people were doing these stupid bits in front of them. And I was like, how embarrassing.
Oh, my God. Can you? It's like the Fringe Festival. Standing in line
Yeah.
for a show, and everybody that hands you a card does a bit. If I want to see your show, I go to it.
Great museum, though. I recommend anybody who comes to New York, take the train over to Queens, go to the museum. Particularly,
I'm proud of you, Jeremy. You went to Queens.
I did. I also went to Brooklyn.
Did you get your passport?
No. Do I have my wallet on me? But I did. I'm going to cover up because I don't want everybody to have my personal information. But I did get in the mail my New York City license.
Look at that.
Which is a much better picture than my driver's license. Can you see that? It's a bit of a glare.
That's a bit of a
But
glare.
I look like a bee stung me in that one. And then I
there
look
you
kind of
go.
normal in that one.
Oh, yeah. It's a little,
Yeah,
I can
so-
see, yeah.
So I don't want to keep it up there too long, and I want them to get my info. Please. These listeners all know where I live anyway.
All
But it
three
was
of
a
them.
good time. Later in the week, I did go to Brooklyn because I did need to get some personal stuff done as far as signing up for some benefits that I get in the city. And that was in Brooklyn, so I had to go there. So I ventured into Brooklyn and Queens. Now I just need to go to the Bronx, which now that I have the New York City ID, I can get into the zoo for free. So I'll be going to the Bronx. And then eventually, I guess, Staten Island. I haven't found a reason to go to Staten Island yet. But
not many people have.
I'm sure I'll find something in
That's
Staten
right.
Island.
A lot of famous people come from Staten Island. A lot of funny people do. But I just hear it smells like garbage. Isn't that where the landfill is?
I saw a TikTok of this, and I don't know if they were just knocking Staten Island or if this was factually based. But Staten Island started off as a garbage mound, and they just put dirt on top of it and turned it into an island.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So that's a legit thing.
That's my understanding. But what do I know?
Well, that makes a lot of sense then. Why
I
people
also
don't like
thought that Levi's made a pair of jeans that had a third leg because I saw a commercial for it on SNL, and I thought it was real. And I was like, "What is this shit?" I was a long time ago.
Did your mom have to explain
Yesterday.
to you what third leg meant?
Look,
Did
I
Jen
mean,
have
I
to
was so
explain
young
to
back
you?
then. I must have been 35.
The only other thing I do want to give a shout out real quick. I had coffee with Greg Triggs, who is a friend of Tom Dyers, the founder of the paper Watermark. He was here in New York, and I had interviewed him a couple of years ago. He had a book that came out.
Yeah,
I
he
interviewed
did.
him for the book.
He wanted to come on our podcast. Did he bring that up? That we didn't allow him to come on the podcast?
well, maybe we'll have him on the podcast.
We just didn't have guests at the time.
Yeah. But we had a really great time talking over coffee. He gave me a lot of good advice on kind of making my way through New York. And then he was in town because he was doing a show at 54 Below. So he gave me some tickets to go see the show, and it was Broadway's Next Hit Musical is what it's called.
I've heard
And
of
it's
this.
a musical improv show where everybody in the audience writes the name of a song, a fake song title on the card. And then they pull the card, and whatever song title's on there, they have to basically talk about a musical that's nominated for a Tony with that song in it. And they have to create this musical on stage, and they do 3, and then the audience votes on which was the best musical. And it was a really good time. I mean,
Isn't
they were
improv
really
great?
funny. I may have enjoyed it more because I had like 6 espresso martinis. Because we went there. That's where we saw Paloma Diamond, and they have the best espresso martini. And I was just sitting there, and the guy would come by and he goes, "You want another? You want another? You want another?" And I was like,
And
"Sure."
Jeremy's like, and another one, and another
And
one,
another.
and another one.
And on to another town.
I know
another
that, but
town,
I don't know who
another.
said
Lady Gaga.
No, I thought it was DJ Khaled. See, I knew who it was. I was just
DJ
pretending to be
Khaled.
stupid. DJ Khaled.
I think we're talking about two different things. I'm talking about Lady Gaga. One city, another club, another club, another club. Next town, another club. That's what I was talking about.
DJ Khaled has this, and he just threw out. It's like, and another one.
See, I didn't know that it was DJ Khaled because you didn't say, this is DJ Khaled, which he says in everything he does.
It's funny, like, in all these songs, they're like, when Lady Gaga did Just Dance, and it's like, and it starts off Red One or whatever. Like, they have to say the DJ's name because nobody knows who the fuck the DJs are, so they have to say their name.
Yeah. I love her, though.
Hey, it's tough business. Pressing play. Just kidding, DJs.
Ooh.
Just kidding.
Oh.
Like
anyway,
being a photographer.
Show.
Click.
Before I move on, do you want to insult any other career fields?
No, good. Yeah, I don't even press record on this, so I'm an idiot. Like, don't listen to me. I have to have somebody. I have to hire somebody to come in and press record. So I get it. You guys do good work.
But I just want to give a shout out to Greg. Thank you so much for the tickets. The show was a great time. Yeah. So that was my week.
Yeah, it sounds great. I used to do improv. Did you know that? I used to be a part of an improv comedy troupe called Half Past Funny when I was in college. In fact, we were funny enough that people would tell us, they told us to take a hiatus from school and travel around college campuses to do this. That did not happen.
It's too bad back then they didn't have America's Got Talent. You could have gone on that show.
Oh, no. There needs to be no video evidence that I was in an improv comedy troupe. But we had a good time. We were just a bunch of idiots, we would do these stupid games with each other, and then then it became part of the show, and because it was just things we do. Like, I used to get kicked out of class in college because we would just be sitting in class, and one of us would make eye contact with another person, and we'd go like this. And it just meant they had to do something stupid. For those that are listening, you put your fingers up to your temples and you just stare at them real intently. And so then one kid, we did that to him. His name was Josh, and he's like, oh fuck. And we're talking like theater classes where there's only like 6 of us, And so he just stood up, like, and the professor's talking. We're in this small room. He just stands up and he starts walking around the table, grabbing everyone's pencils and snapping them. And then he sits back down, and the professor goes, all right, get out. And he goes, and stop doing that stupid game in my class. And one guy, we did that to him, and it was like snowing outside and he like stripped down to his boxers and went running through the quad in his because every college has a quad, and running in his boxers through screaming. Like, and so we just figured we were idiots in real life, so we just made it into an improv comedy trip. It was a lot of fun. So my 2 weeks, I'm not going to go back 2 weeks, right? Who wants to hear about everything for 2 weeks? I just want to say, because I made a big deal about these family dinners and everything, and that my brother was coming from Syracuse and all that. So they came over. We had a lovely dinner. Everything was great. Did I tell you my niece is she's like a sous chef at the Alfond Inn?
No,
which is
that's
a nice. It's a nice hotel and restaurant in Winter Park. And they are not married. Her boyfriend partner. Yeah, there you go. That's a better way to say it. Is like I don't know if he's a head chef, but he's a chef there. So they always cook really good shit. She made this Mexican street corn that I just want to shout out. It was super delicious. My highlights: I made kitchen sink cookies. Have you ever had these?
I have not.
Do you know what they are?
I assume they have something to do with a kitchen sink.
You make them in the sink. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
They're like everything in the kitchen sink kind of a thing.
Oh,
so
I get you.
It's got caramels in it, Heath toffee bits, chocolate chips, pretzels. Some people even put potato chips in it. I did not. But they were super good. You didn't get one, did you, Caitlin? No, Caitlin. This is what happens when you don't come into the office, except for one day every week.
Caitlin.
And since we didn't record last week, she didn't come last week. She didn't get him. I did come into the office on Monday to drop some off. So we made those, and I made an apple cake that I had never made before. It's just apples floating in cake with this incredibly delicious thing on top of it, like caramelly, buttery yumminess. That was some good stuff. Which, for those who watch the videos, yeah, I'm totally getting fat again. Like, I'm so bloated right now because I keep eating all that crap, but it's really good. I went to Houston recently.
Oh,
last
that's right.
week.
You were
This
going to
is why.
Houston.
Yeah, I went to Houston for the Gay Softball
This is
World
originally
Series.
why the show got pushed.
Right, we were going to record early because I was going to Houston. I was flying out on Monday, so I didn't have time to record it. But then you got sick, so we didn't at all. But it was exciting because I wanted to go because I grew up in Houston, and I was like, well, I want to go and check out the old houses that I used to live at, which is really kind of cool.
That's always exciting to do. When I moved over to Tampa when I was with Watermark, I used to live in St. Pete, and I went and looked at it, and everything looked so small. Everything was so tiny.
Isn't that the thing? Like,
yeah,
when I was a kid, everything was so big and huge, and I'm just like, there were 7 people living in that house. It seemed big to me at the time. And then we drove by the Astrodome, and the Astrodome when I was a kid was like this magnificently huge building. And now I'm like, that's it? Like, it's smaller than Tropicana. And right next to it is like this, I think, where the Texans football team plays, is they built a place right next to it, which is like 3 times the size of it. And I'm like, well, now it just looks tiny. But it was cool. Like, I don't know. Dylan must have been so effing bored because I'm just driving around. I was like, this is where we used to live. And I was like, this is the park where the guy said he was going to kill me. Like, really, this guy went into detail about how he was going to rip my limbs off one by one and then like pull every tissue by tissue out of my body. Like, this whole
Let me ask you a question. When you're doing that stuff, like reminiscing and going back and looking at things, do you hear any specific songs in your head?
No.
Every time I do, I hear Madonna's "This Used to Be My Playground" playing in my head. And I always stare off longingly to kind of be in tempo with the song. Yeah.
Do you sit on top of a dugout and just look into the outfield?
I do.
Great movie, by the way. One of my favorites.
Absolutely. So good.
No, but it was cold outside and my jacket was unbuttoned, and this guy in the park was like, you need to button your jacket. And he's like, I'm going to give you 3 seconds to button your jacket up. And if you don't, I'm going to kill you, but this is how I'm going to kill you. It was really weird.
How old were you? And did you know him?
No, I didn't know him. I think the guy really was going to kill me. And like, he got to like 2.5 and I just started running because I didn't have it buttoned up. Ran home, told my family about it. Everybody grabbed a baseball bat and went to the park. It was really only like a half a block down. And it was the 80s, right? So it's like, whatever. You just go out, run around the park the whole time. Plus, and I'm pointing things out to Dylan, like, oh, that slide used to be over here and it was metal.
Ignore him.
Hey, Chris. I was like, and he was like, yeah, that's the slide where I used to scorch myself on because metal slides in the sun. Anyway, so it was really fun to do all that. Let's see. Oh, I did write this down. I thought it was kind of cool as I was sitting there looking at like the schools that I went to and all that, and the fact that I was taking my husband around to see all this was kind of cool. And I was like, if I could have told my elementary school self that one day you will come back here and visit and your husband will be with you, then I might have been a happier kid.
Yeah.
I do want to point this out. I'm going to say this about Houston. Houston, you suck. I'm sorry, you do. Here's why. There's a lot of great things about Houston. Calm down. There's a lot of great things about it. Why? Why are there 1,000 highways per square mile? Why? Do you know how high they stack? They stack like 4 highways high at some points. Like there's the ground and then there's 4 highways. I was making a turn like, oh, let's get on this exit. And I felt like, am I on the Skyway Bridge? And then I look over and we're like 15 stories, 17 stories up on a building on a road. Why? Am I in an amusement park? So it's weird. Crazy. So many. And then like there's no indication anywhere. So like you have this on-ramp or you're on a highway and it's 4 lanes. And then it comes together with a highway that's 4 lanes. And the 2 lanes in the middle, boop, merge together. No warning whatsoever. Hey, Chris, how you doing? That's what that face was saying. But no warning whatsoever. They just merged together. Traffic was terrible there. Lots of stuff. And then, so I looked this up. Do you know that as far as one of the biggest cities in America, where do you think Houston falls in on that? Biggest cities in America.
Population or land-wise?
I don't remember.
Population, I'm pretty sure it's 4th, And land-wise, I believe it's second.
It must be population then that we're talking. It's the 4th largest city in the country. Do you know what the first 3 are?
New York, LA, and Chicago.
Yes. Very good. You have passed geography
Do
today.
you know what the largest landmass city is? That has the most landmass? Jacksonville, Florida.
Really?
Yes.
So I will say there's some. Oh, where's this place? I gotta look it up. So we went to. Here's two quick stories about eating. We went to. Oh, I wanted to say because you went to a museum. We went to the Galleria Mall, which when I was a kid, I don't remember it being as big as it was. This is a huge mall. It was like 4 stories, and then every time you turn a corner, there was another 4-story mall, and then you turn another. Like every single store in the world was here. It was crazy. So, but they have an ice skating rink in it, and it was like it reminded me when I was a kid. We used to go there, like we'd either go to the mall or to Astro World when we were kids. And then my brother would always send me. I was like 5 or 6 years old. He would send me to the cigarette stand inside the thing, and you just walk up there. It's the '80s, and you're like, "Hey, I need to buy a pack of cigarettes for my dad." And they're like, "Okay," and they sell them to a 6-year-old, and then I go give them to my brother who is like 12. But we went to this.
Did you ever get them out of the cigarette machine? My parents used to give us a stack of quarters so we could go put them in the cigarette machine and pull the handles.
That's fun because it's like a game.
Yeah.
And you get lung cancer, and you get lung cancer. So we went to this place called Fielding's River Oaks, which is like this upscale American restaurant. My brother, who lives in Houston, my oldest brother, he took us there. And we walked in, and I was like, what in hipster hell is this? There was a guy, I mean, he had like the hipster mustache. He was playing a guitar. Very fascinating, though, because his voice didn't match. He was singing like, like songs that they would sing in the car on White Chicks. It just didn't seem like something he was singing. And he definitely looked like somebody who, when he put the guitar down, he was a craft cocktail mixologist. He had that vibe. But the place was kind of cool. And so we're just sitting there, and the waitress was really kind of fun. And she's joking with Dylan a lot. And he says, I really like you. And she goes, I like you too. And then, so it was a fun experience, and the food was delicious. But then this thing happened, and we were all kind of caught off guard. So the waitress comes back to the table. She's got this bowl that's got like sherbet and ice cream and some cake in it and a candle. And she's singing, what is she singing? It took us a while to understand what she was singing. But she's like, happy bestie day to you. 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 And she sits it in front of Dylan. So my brother and his wife and I are staring at each other like, what is happening? And then he's like, well, Shannon must have told them something. And she's like, I didn't say anything. I was like, no one's left the table except Dylan. What did Dylan go up and say it's his birthday? Like, we were just very confused. And then it clicked. She just thought he was fun. And so she said it was happy bestie day to you because they hit it off and were best friends. It was just kind of cool and weird and fun. But then we went to this place called Kenny and Ziggy's. All right. We just happened to go to this place over this other thing. We were feeling like we wanted Jewish deli food, right? And so Dylan looked it up, and he said this place looked a lot like Junior's, right? You and I went. You and Dylan and I went to Junior's.
Yeah, we went to there.
And so it looked like Junior's, so we went there, and it turns out that this guy Ziggy used to live in New York and loves this whole Jewish deli idea, right? Which all started because when a bunch of Jewish people came and moved to New York, there was no place that served their food, so they started creating these delis, and then he moved to Houston, and there wasn't it, so he created it there. But it's very New Yorky. It's like outlined in playbills, and he's a huge Broadway fan. It's got all this cool memorabilia, and the food is amazing. And apparently, this guy has started this thing where, like, I think it's every August or something. There's like National Deli Day or something, and it's this big celebration of delis. Well, he started it. And his father and grandfather all owned delis in New York, and it was a big thing. Just a really fun, cool place. So shout out to Kenny and Ziggy's. And the waitress there was awesome, too. So that was cool.
Let me ask you a question, because you're a Broadway guy. When I was at the Broadway flea market, the number one thing people were going nuts for were playbills. Is that a big thing to collect if you haven't seen the show?
I mean, I guess if you like it, especially if it's an original playbill with the original cast in it. Like somebody gave me for my birthday one year the original playbill for Miss Saigon with Leah Salonga in it, and I think she signed it. And I was like, well, that's pretty cool. So I like that.
It reminds me of like getting a concert T-shirt to a concert you didn't go to. It's like, why would you want? But I guess to each their. It just found me weird how crazy people were going for the playbills.
Yeah. When I lived there, I had one of those IKEA coffee tables, where it's like the coffee table and then it had like posts on the corners and glass, and so we'd save all the playbills from the shows we saw and put under it. So like, oh, you can see the play. Throw them all away now. We don't even. There's no. There's. Did somebody at your house?
That was my doorbell.
Oh, did Chris order some food? Are we about to get another Chris cameo?
Should I answer it?
Yeah,
I feel like we're on Mr. Rogers. Let's see who's at the door.
Oh, this will be fun. Ooh, it'll be fun as long as it's not someone there to murder them. Maybe it's somebody to fix the window we heard so much about. Yeah. We're turning this into an unboxing video. There is a box here. Perhaps Jeremy will show us the unboxing.
Hey, boys and girls, it looks like we got a package. Let's see what we got. This is really interesting because I don't remember ordering anything.
Does it say anything about who it's from, where it's from? I hope it's not from the Unabomber.
No, it has a QR code, but I don't feel like... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, it's my coffee pods.
Oh, well, there you go.
My coffee pods.
Oh, you're going to need that tomorrow to nurse that hangover from this show. Oh, so let me say... just because I said I went to Houston for the softball tournament, and I have said nothing about the softball tournament.
Oh, so you went for softball?
Yeah, I did go for softball. I was playing in the they call it the Legends division, and it's basically the old people. I turned 50 this year, so I was eligible, and I was like, let's do it. I'm all about playing in the old people league. And we did all right. There were about 30 teams, I think, in our division, and we finished 9th. So that's pretty good.
Nice.
I did really well. I played shortstop one day, which I don't normally play, and I did pretty well at that. And second base the next day, I did okay. And then they put me back on my home in the outfield, which is really nice. So it was fun. It's difficult when you're playing on a team with people you don't normally play on a team with. So you're playing next to somebody in the outfield. You got to really trust each other. Like they got to know you're going after the ball and they not run into you and that kind of thing. So it took us a little while to get used to that, but once we hit our groove, we did really well.
Nice.
We lost the game we lost that ended it. We lost in the second extra inning. So I mean, we were neck and neck. So
yeah, when I was a kid, my parents wanted me to. They didn't make me stay in anything I didn't enjoy, but they wanted me to try things, and they had me sign up for softball when I was a kid, or little league, or whatever the hell it was called, with my brother. And they put me in right field.
Yeah. That's a statement.
Yeah. That means, hey, faggot, don't play our sports.
that meant no one's going to hit it out there. So
yep, they knew what they were doing. The coach was a friend of my parents, and he looked exactly like Fred Flintstone. That's all I remember of him.
Huh. I would imagine you would be good at softball, though.
Because I look like Babe Ruth, you son of a bitch.
I would never have thought that until you said
it. No, I was not good at all.
No, you're just really tall, and they look like you could. If you could hit a ball, it looks like it would go very far.
I wasn't tall then. This was before I hit my growth spurt. I was like 6 or 7 at this time.
Oh, so
I'm not tall,
tiny
but I was thin and I had abs. And I know nobody believes me, but when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old, I was a very athletic kid. I was like running around all the time, and I had little baby abs. I was hot.
I'm not comfortable with this conversation. Have you
They
ever
were my
seen that?
abs, so I can say that.
Have you seen that thing about that bodybuilder who was like, that child bodybuilder?
I've seen things like when you're scrolling on like Instagram or Twitter or something, and you come across like the promoted post. RFK Jr.'s back.
Wait, go take ibuprofen. Don't ever take a methamphetamine.
Never take the Tylenol. The Tylenol's killing all the babies.
I just want you to know. I know that I'm not a pregnant woman, although sometimes I feel like I look like it. I went right out to the drugstore and bought Tylenol. I did.
I would have, but I always have a bottle. Tylenol's my go-to. I always have a bottle of Tylenol. The fast acting, the rapid release capsules, my favorite. Sometimes I'll just pour a little side with my cereal. I'll just dump them on the side and mix them in. I love it. I ain't having no babies.
Not now. Anyway, so we did have a thing we decided to watch, to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the purpose
I thought
of
we were
the
still talking
podcast.
about you and Dylan still in Houston. Me and Dylan had a thing we did in Houston.
I didn't even talk about this. We went to the zoo. Man, that was
I
fun.
love zoos. I love
This is
zoos.
a good one. I mean, it was really cool. Like, there's this tunnel that you walk through, and sea lions swim all around it. But they know that it's like they're posing, like they're swimming, and then they just stop moving and they just glide right over the thing, and she watched it. It's really cool.
I don't know how often you go to SeaWorld. I love SeaWorld. And when I lived in Orlando, I used to go quite frequently because I got free tickets for being a veteran a couple of times a year. They have veteran days where you can go free if you're a veteran. And all the animals at SeaWorld are like that. Like, they know that somebody's taking a photo, and they pause so you can get your good photos. It's fantastic.
I used to work there, and when I worked there, it was very clean and awesome, and it's always one of my favorite parks. I really enjoy it. I think that I think working there, I get to see sometimes the behind the scenes things and how things are, and so, like, I've always been a fan. I'm not going to get into this whole blackfish thing or whatever that was.
I hear you.
But I was like, I don't know that they're really talking to people who know what's going on.
No, other than the videos I saw in Blackfish, the behind the scenes I see of, like, SeaWorld, they're there because they love the animals and they're respectful of them. And I mean, you know what? If I was living in that big open ocean, I'd want someone to come pick me up and take me to a nice cozy place in SeaWorld. You get fed all the time. That ocean is a big scary place.
I know that we used to say all the time that fish or that whale gets a toothache in the ocean, it could die in weeks. Here they take care of them. Nah, I mean, I know the trainers. I knew the trainers really well, and I know how much they absolutely loved those animals.
Yeah,
I will say this too. I also used to work sometime, or the gym. It is part of the ski area, where they did ski shows. And when I worked there, I worked in characters and entertainment. And so twice a week, they would schedule us like an hour with a trainer there, and we'd have to go and work out because we had to wear those costumes and stuff like that. Oh. And we would be in there working out when the skiers were.
Yeah.
You know that gif of the guy, I forget his name.
James McAvoy.
Yeah,
in
like,
Wanted. Yeah, that's from the movie Wanted.
I know. I finally saw that movie the other day, and I was like, well, that really ruins the context of that gif.
It's a good movie, though.
Yeah,
I really dug it. Yeah. So speaking of movies,
well, we didn't watch one, but we watched the TV show.
A TV show, an episode. We watched an episode of a TV show.
We did.
So there is a show on Apple TV Plus called Little America, which is an anthology television series that ran for 2 seasons. Excuse me. And each episode is about an aspect of an immigrant's life in America, either in America or how they came to America, like the one we watched. But the season 1 finale is called The Sun, which is about a closeted gay Syrian guy who goes through the process of trying to get asylum to America. Well, asylum to a country that would be accepting of him.
Right, which I don't think was part of his plan until...
No, not initially.
Not initially. It just became part of his plan because of how wonderful his family treated him. So it starts off, it's like it's a family dinner thing, and they're all around, and he leaves, says he's got to go do some work. But really what he's doing is he's hooking up with somebody in a barn somewhere.
Well, he's checking his phone because he says it's work related. But his name's Rafiq, by the way. And we know this because they flash it in giant letters on the screen as the show starts. It's like, by the way, this is Rafiq. But they're having a family dinner, and he's getting a text message from who he keeps telling his family is somebody from work. But it's actually a guy that he's been seeing. So he tells them, he takes the because he says, I'm going to make coffee because his brother just announced him and his fiance are getting married. So he takes the sugar and he dumps it in the garbage can to tell his family, "Oh, we're out of sugar, so I need to go to the store." But his dad comes in while he's dumping the sugar, and then he just drops the half dumped bag in the garbage. He's like, "Oh, we're out of sugar. I got to go to the store."
That sounds like a
like,
euphemism, doesn't it? Dumping the sugar.
So my dad walked in while I was dumping the sugar.
No, you never want to get caught dumping the sugar.
Yeah. So he tells his dad, "I'm going to run out." He goes, "Well, make it quick. Your family's here." So he actually leaves to go meet this guy that he's seeing in like an old warehouse or something. And they start kissing. And one thing, they don't show it, but you assume because they start taking clothes off that they do it.
You know, the guy said something I really like because he goes to kiss him and like what's the guy's name again? Rafik pulls away and the guy looks at him and he says, it's okay. You're allowed to enjoy this. And I thought, like, what a sad world that, you know, he wants this thing so bad but he won't allow himself to until this guy's like, it's okay. You can enjoy this.
So
and then he did.
Then he did. And then they walk out the door and then he turns around and they're being touchy feely. You see him lean for a kiss. And I knew, I was like, dude, you're not safe. You're not safe where you're at. Don't do that.
You know how you were inside the thing? Be like that outside of it.
So he leans in and he kisses the guy. And as he's kissing him, his dad walks up. And you have this awkward kind of like they see each other. And then they cut to Rafik running through the woods. But you hear what happened when they got back to the house while he's running through the woods. And his dad apparently was hitting him. He was slapping him around and then burnt his arm in the fire. We later find out to say, listen, that was just 5 seconds. Imagine when you're burning eternally in hell.
Yeah. Burn the gay out of you. That's what they were trying to do.
So, no, everybody wants to hear that from their father about, hey, if you don't straighten up, you're going to burn in a fiery pit of hell, just like this. Let me show you. So we cut to Rafik. It's 3 months later. He's working in a cafe.
He's in Damascus.
Damascus, yes.
Yeah.
And they have like it's like a progressive cafe. They've got like starlets, and they got Audrey Hepburn and Marilyn Monroe pictures on the wall. The walls are pink. So you can tell it's a safe place to be if you're gay because of all the starlets on the wall.
You can tell it's a safe place to be because you're gay because of the other guy that works there.
Well, sure, yes. Eventually, you do see that the other guy who works there comes in. His name is Zane. He is very flamboyant. He is very open and accepting of who he is.
And he's in love with Kelly Clarkson.
Loves Kelly Clarkson.
In fact, he's playing Kelly Clarkson, and Rafik doesn't know the song. And he's like, blasphemy. You don't know Kelly Clarkson? Very cool. I like this guy. I like that character a lot. I like Zane a lot. And I looked him up. It's like the guy, Adam Ali, I think, plays him. I think it's his first movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't see anything else on his call sheet.
Did you just ask if I turned it down or are you asking me to turn it down? Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm screaming. Excuse me. We're having technical difficulty over here. I'll be right with you.
I thought that I had hit the volume all the way up on my thing because you got very loud there.
I got really excited. I was like, the thing's screaming. I think I might.
I'm on the microphone like this.
I think my fat elbow hit the volume button. I think it did too. Yeah. Oh my God. Caitlin said, yeah, I think it did. I think your fat elbow did hit it. So anyway, so we were talking about Adam Ali, who I think it was I looked him up. It's the only thing he's been in on IMDb. Yeah. But he was really kind of cool.
Really cool, little twinkish Zane.
And then they did this whole reenactment thing of Steel Magnolias.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, sorry. I jumped the gun.
So they meet at work, and then they start, Zane or Rafik gets off, and he's walking back, and he gets a text message from who we assume is one of his family members saying, your brother is looking for you. So Zane catches up with Rafik, tells him, I'm going for a drink. You should come with me. And he's like, no, I need to go meet my brother. And he's like, no, you're lying to me. And that's when he pulls out his lighter and he lights a cigarette and he asks him if he wants one. And then he sees he has Kelly Clarkson on his lighter. And he's like, who's that? And he's like, the fuck you talking about? You don't know Kelly Clarkson?
The fuck you say?
So Rafik ends up, he's like, you know what? Let's hang out. And Rafik and Zayn go back to Rafik's place to hang out. And they're smoking hookah, which, did you ever go through a hookah phase in your youth?
I don't understand it.
Okay.
In my youth, we smoked cigarettes. We covered that earlier.
I was a cigarette smoker, but I had a friend, Robbie, back in the day who was a reservist, and he got stationed. He had to go do a tour somewhere in the Middle East. And over there, he tried hookah for the first time. And when he came back, he was obsessed with it. So we started going to hookah bars, and he bought a hookah, and he would bring it over to my house, and we would just hang out and like philosophize and smoke hookah, very much like these two were doing. So shout out to Robbie.
I mean, it's just, I don't even understand.
It's flavored tobacco is all it is.
Or isn't it sometimes flavored weed? Ganja.
You can do weed, but we never did weed.
The devil's lettuce.
We only did legal tobacco in various flavors. So he finds out, because throughout the meeting, Zayn has been he only speaks English because he's practiced English because he wants to go become a famous actor in America. So we find out that Zayn has applied for asylum, and the next day at work is where they're reenacting the graveyard scene from Steel Magnolias, which I love that movie so much. I'm sure I've mentioned this a few times before, but when I was in the military and I moved to Louisiana, Barksdale, my first week there, because at the time my dad had just started a new job where he was traveling a lot. So my mom was by herself in South Carolina, and my sister's husband, who was a Marine, was stationed in Iraq. So she was alone in California. So the three of us would like talk on the phone every night for hours because we were all three kind of in new situations. And I reenacted the entire movie of Steel Magnolias for them one night. And so when he was doing that, I was like, I remember those days.
I think I might have said this before, but there was a time back when I was drinking and Jen and I first moved to Orlando. Every time I would go to bed, either Steel Magnolias or Terms of Endearment or something would be on, and I'd catch the last 20 minutes of it. And then I would call Jen and I'd be crying. And it'd be like, I just watched Terms of Endearment. And she's like, why? And she'd come and lay in my bed. She'd be like, it's okay.
Would she hold you and pet your head? Mm-hmm. Shh, it'll be okay. That's sweet. That's so sweet. Now, the question is, would you do that for her?
I don't know her.
No. Oh, that's so sad. Aw. Poor
no,
Jen.
I'd be like, what are you crying for?
Jen, if you're listening, if you ever need someone to hold you and pet your head because you watched a sad movie, call me. That's so sad.
Dylan lives there now.
Oh, well, Dylan can. Okay, call Dylan. So while they were all working and everything, Zayn has a friend who comes over. So he calls Rafik into the dining room to introduce him. And I'm assuming he was probably from earlier in the movie. But I'm guessing that was an uncle or somebody's in the dining room who recognizes Rafik. And he gets up and he walks out. They meet eyes, and he pulls out his cell phone as he's walking out, and he's calling someone. So Rafik, Zayn, and Zayn's friend, they go out for drinks, and then they end up back at Zayn's place, and they're drinking and having a good time, and they're dancing. And then the next morning, Rafik wakes up, and his phone's ringing, and it's Zayn. And Zayn has called him and said, he picks up the phone. He's like, hey, let me sleep. I'm hungover. And he's like, do not come into the restaurant. Don't come into work. And he's like, why? What happened? You can hear in Zayn's voice something has happened. He sounds very distressed. So, of course, Rafik is like, well, I'm going to go see what happened. So he goes there. Zayn is beat up. He's all busted up. He's bleeding. And apparently Rafik's brother found out that he was there, showed up, busted the place up. Place is destroyed. And Zayn's like, here is my money that I was saving to go to Hollywood. He gave him his little piggy bank that said Hollywood on it. and said, you need to run and you need to apply for asylum. So he ends up going to Jordan and applies for asylum, requesting to either go to the US or Canada just so he can get out of there. And he starts waiting tables in Jordan while he's waiting for the process to go through. And this is based on a true story. They later on, they show photos of this guy, but the process of trying to apply for asylum when you're in a dangerous situation, it's like you think there'd be more urgency with people, and maybe it's just because there's so many people applying for asylum, or they've got to do the research or whatever, I don't know. But he's being hunted basically by his family.
Yeah.
And he's waiting tables and sleeping in this hotel for years, waiting to hear back on whether he got approved for asylum or not. There was one part in this that kind of I was a little confused by because they didn't really revisit it, but he's waiting tables and he sees his grandmother. She's there in Jordan. And he's like, grandmother. And she just smiles at him. And then they never address it again. So like, was that just to say, oh, my grandmother knew where I was, but didn't turn me in, so she's cool? Or they didn't really revisit that. So I don't know what was going on there.
Maybe they didn't tell the
Well,
grandmother.
she smiled at, I don't know, maybe. But it was just very weird. They never readdressed it.
Full disclosure, I watched this 2 weeks ago, so I don't know. I don't know. No, it was a week ago, right?
The same time he watched or he saw his grandmother, there was also a nice British man in there.
Mm-hmm.
Who they strike up a conversation, and through a series of events, they end up at Rafiq's place, and they do it. They have of the sex.
They have relations.
All of the sex. They have relations.
They dump the sugar, if you know what I mean.
They dumped the sugar several times that night.
You know, I was thinking this as I'm watching this, right? So this is an area of the world where being gay clearly is not cool. Rafiq doesn't strike me as gay. I wouldn't know he was gay except for I saw him make out with guys.
Sure.
So how did this guy at the restaurant know?
I mean, you know.
Because it was in the script.
You know.
As Joey Tribbiani says, because it's in the script.
Because it's in the script. I mean, you know, don't you have gaydar?
I mean, sure, but
we're
only
all
to
born
like
with it.
Obvious ones. I don't know.
So he ends up hooking up with this guy, and then we see across the screen it's been 1 year, and he's still waiting tables at this cafe in Jordan.
Refresh on that computer.
Yep, keep clicking the refresh on the computer to see if his asylum application's been accepted. He gets a postcard from Zane that says Hollywood on it, and the message on it, Zane has now made it to America. His asylum application got approved, and he's in America now. And he's sending him postcards, and he's like, I just keep refreshing that screen, and I know I'm going to see you out here. And eventually, Rafiq gets the notification that his application was approved, and he's going to America.
He's not just going to America. He's going to Boise, Idaho.
Well, he's going to see Zane. So he keeps getting these postcards that say Hollywood. And then, so you assume he grabs the postcards and he's looking at it. You assume he's going to meet him in Hollywood. And no, he gets off at the airport and it's Boise, Idaho. And he's walking through the streets of Boise, Idaho, which, you know, so much better than the situation he was in. But I mean, Boise, Idaho looks very dull, but I'm sure it's a lovely city. So he makes it to Zane's house, and Zane is like, you know, he gives him a big hug, and he's wearing like a dashiki or something. And he's like, you look like my grandmother. And he goes, get in, get showered. We're going out tonight. I'm like, dude, he just traveled. He has been running from his family for 10 years. Let him take a nap. Let him have something to eat. But he's like, no, we're going out. So he takes him to a gay club, and he doesn't have an ID. All he has is his papers. And the doorman is like, no, I need ID. And it looks like Rafiq's not going to get to go to his first gay club in America. And then this big lesbian comes out, And she sees his papers, and she's like, baby, it's okay. You're home now. And she looks at the bouncer, and she's like, do you see a birthday on this papers? Is he over 21? Then let him the fuck in. And then she brings him in. I loved her, by the way.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of you trying to go to that premiere of that movie and them not letting you in. You're like, but my papers. That's all I have. It's the exact same thing.
Where was my big lesbian at the door?
Right?
So he goes in, and it's, your typical gay bar. There, there's people, gays dancing, and there's people drinking, and a drag queen comes out, and she starts to sing Kelly Clarkson, and he looks around, and he is overwhelmed by the sin and debauchery that he sees.
That is
and
not
he
what
just
he's
starts
overwhelmed by.
to cry. He's just overwhelmed by the situation of he never thought that his life would ever be able to be open like this.
Yeah.
And then he starts to cry.
Years of running and fear and your family hating you and all of that to then just to be standing there in a place where you're like, I've made it. It was pretty cool.
And she's singing Kelly Clarkson, and Zane's just going crazy because that girl loves Kelly Clarkson. And
but Rafiq did write a letter to his dad.
Oh, yes. Before he left, when he got his word that he got asylum, he wrote a letters to his dad. It's in another language. I don't know what language it is.
And it just says, I'm safe.
Yeah, it says, hey, Dad, I am safe. I am happy. I hope you are well. Rafiq. And then his dad just kind of has this look on his face like, I'm happy. I'm glad you're safe. I'm happy you're safe. He doesn't look disappointed. Which
but I will
is,
send
I guess,
this
nice.
to your brother, and he will find you and kill you.
Your brother will find you. And then they during the credits they show photos of the actual Rafiq. They say that
they were very kind to him in casting.
At that. I wasn't going to say that because he'd been through a lot. But yes, the guy who played Rafiq is hot.
Yeah.
So hot.
Super hot.
But I imagine.
Yeah, Rafiq's hot too. I mean, real Rafiq.
If they ever make a movie about me, I hope that they, upcast for me. Don't cast, I don't know, the guy from that one movie that we watched. You know which movie. I'm not going to say it, but you know which movie.
Oh.
No names.
You want me to say it?
No names. Anyway, so they do mention that Rafiq met his partner in that very club that he first went to that first night, and they got engaged, and they got married, and they lived happily ever after. The end.
Really cool. I thought it was cool. What do you think? So I think this Rotten Tomatoes is for the whole series. I don't think it's for the one episode.
I haven't watched the whole series. I only watched that one episode. Although that one episode, I was like, I'm going to go back and watch at least some of them. It's really interesting, particularly nowadays with how fucked up the country is. I think that because I looked it up and they did the 2 seasons and they didn't renew it. There's no 3rd season coming. I feel like now is when a show like this would be really important. But go back and watch the 2 seasons. I'm going to go back and watch some of them.
I just don't think. I think that the people who need to watch this aren't going to, and if they do, they're going to watch it and they're going to be like, "We don't need that queer here." Like we don't need, they're not going to look at it and say this guy who was running for his life. It took him years to get here. They're just like, go back and do it the legal way. So what if it takes a long time? And you're just like, to me, watching this was just like, imagine that happened
according
to us.
To
like,
them,
where are we gonna go? How is
the way he did it to them is the legal way. He went through the proper channels and he waited years and years and years. And not all of these. If you're listening and you're like, I don't know why you'd be listening to this podcast if you're like, fuck them queers, because I'd hate to break it to you, we're queer.
Unless you wanted to, actually.
Unless you wanted to fuck them queers. Then how you doing? But they're not all LGBT stories. They're all stories of immigrants, but they're not all queer stories. So if you're that homophobic, watch one of the other ones, I guess. But it's a good show.
I did think it was good. It was heartwarming to watch this succeed. And there's way more stories of not being successful.
Yeah, I mean, I did when I was working at Watermark. I did a story where I interviewed a guy who runs a program to get queer people out of the Middle East and to safe places, and a lot of those stories do not end like this. and that's
No.
very sad. But it is a great show. At least the episode I watched. I'm going to watch a couple more. You said that there's a Rotten Tomatoes for the whole season,
for the whole series. Yeah.
I mean, this if the rest of the season is like this episode, I'm going to say that the critics probably loved it. The audience loved it. Is there an audience and a critic score?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I'm going to go 94 for critics and 90 for audiences.
95 critics, 80 audiences.
Okay.
I'm going to imagine the 80 is probably people are like, America. You know what I mean? Like how they gay bomb things. They
probably went to Rotten Tomatoes and said, "Come here the right way, 0."
Yeah.
America. Where's my sister? Just because they want to say, ask her how she's doing, not for anything else. Just, how's it going, sister?
She was supposed to be putting the big flags on the back of the truck.
Yeah.
Are they up? She's done.
Now get back in the kitchen and make me a sandwich.
Sister honey.
Sister wife. Anyway.
So I'm going to give it 4 grades. I'm going to go 4 because, 5, I'm waiting for the miraculous things. So solid 4. Great show. Should watch it.
Yeah,
I'm going to watch the other ones.
I'll go 4.5 this episode. Like I said, I haven't watched since we're really quick because, we're just at, I think, like at an hour and a half. Along with watching this over the last 2 weeks, I do want to say that I watched Adolescence. Last episode we talked about the Emmys and it like cleaned up. I am going to put Adolescence in the same category that I put Honora.
Oh no!
Where separated from all of this love, I feel like if I would have watched this before the Emmys, I was like, "That's a pretty good show. That's a decent show." But I don't understand. It's not clean sweep the Emmys good. It's not like, everybody should have, because it's 4 episodes and each episode, it's that thing like we talked about where every episode is shot in one continuous shot. And it's basically each episode is to get an aspect of the story, but there's no conclusion to the story. Like they just leave a lot of stuff up in the air. And the guy did an interview and they said, "Oh, are you going to, with all the success, you're going to do a second season to kind of answer some of those questions?" He's like, "No, I feel like we told the story we wanted to tell." I think
so you don't find out if he actually murdered the person or not. I'm not watching it. You just convinced me not to watch it. I can't stand that when you watch a show and it doesn't wrap shit up.
You do find out who did it, but it doesn't wrap things up. There's a lot of stuff left open. The 4 episodes are at different points. So like episode 1 is the day after the murder happens. Episode 2 is 3 months after. Episode 3 is like a year after, and then 18 months after. And it's just a snippet of this situation, but it's not, it's like if I had saw Nora before it won all those fucking Oscars, I probably would have said, "Well, that was a pretty good movie." But in comparison, there was some much better things that came out this past year that deserve.
I have made it halfway through the event, not the event, Paradise, but
yeah.
So I'm glad you didn't actually tell me what the spoiler thing was, because although I don't know what you're gonna find out at the end. It's like, maybe he not dead? Maybe the president isn't dead. No, that wasn't a spoiler, by the way. He dies in the first episode.
In the first episode, yeah.
So I don't know what the big thing is, because every episode ends in some big revelation of something that you didn't know was happening. So
have you finished it?
No, I'm halfway through.
Oh, okay.
I watched it on the airplane.
When you're done watching it, then I'll tell you what specifically they said in the interview that I was like, ugh. Because there were some things that I thought were spoilery, but like you said, in the first episode, they actually take care of that. And I was like, oh, okay. But there was something they said that I looked ahead and it's like, that's how the season ends. I was like, oh, well, you shouldn't have said that shit.
Yeah. And I hate, I start watching shows and then like when the bad guy starts winning, I'm like, I hate this shit. I don't like when the bad guy wins. And so it's starting to happen in the show, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to keep up with it. We'll find out. So next week, we're going to talk about the history of sound.
The history of sound, which is
now
now
it finally
available.
made its way to Orlando.
I mean, I don't want to brag, but it's been out in New York for a couple of weeks.
I can't even find it in theaters in New York anymore. But the next time, so we're going to do the history of sound. Then after that, do you know what comes out during that week?
No, tell me.
Kiss of the Spider Woman with J-Lo.
I cannot.
wait.
I don't know why. I honestly don't know why. I am so fucking excited for this movie.
Oh,
Like I
it's
saw
gonna be
that. I'm
so
not a
good.
huge J-Lo fan, but
not
I saw the
either.
trailer and I read that when it was playing at the film festivals, just the buzz around it, and then that trailer, I was like, that looks so fucking.
It's
good.
the same guy that did the same people that did Chicago, and that was a really good version.
Well, it's
of
all
that.
it's written by the people who wrote Chicago and Cabaret.
Yeah.
And then the guy who made Chicago made this. I'm so excited for it.
I love the I like the
can't wait to
music
see it.
for it. I like the whole thing. Like I was on a long road trip with a friend of mine in college, and I put the CD in and then explained the whole show as it went on, and like the song "Dressing
Just
Them
something
Up,"
about
where the gay guy sings about scars. I love it. It's gonna be really
because
good.
Chicago, the music of Chicago and the show Cabaret are some of my favorite things that have been on Broadway, and that's Candor and Ebb, and I think that they're just everything they do is fantastic. So I know I'm going to absolutely love this movie.
Yeah. So we got the next 2 weeks planned out.
Yep.
And we
if you want to follow along,
if you're a fan of the show and you listen, shoot us a message on Instagram. We're thinking about changing the format a little, where we invite people in and do like quick little 20-minute interviews with people.
Maybe J-Lo, if you're listening, if you want to come on and talk about your role.
You know, she's listening right now, and she's like, "Oh, thank God! I've been waiting for them to invite me."
Yeah.
We're gonna do whatever we can to get on the interview circuits, and
whatever
then
you want us to do, audience.
The FCC.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
But until then, we will be back. But until then, I said that twice. The cork is back in the bottle.